Abortion is not written on a woman's face. You can't see it if someone has conducted an abortion. You might know the virginity status of a woman, but you can never ever know whether the person has conducted an abortion. By young active girl, don't be cajoled by men to believe that, oh, they cannot make use of condom, they want skin to skin, body to body. A lot of women are very much worried about abortion, what damage is going to cause regarding their reproductive health. A lot have been cajoled into thinking that having an abortion is the end of them having a fulfilling reproductive life. Today, in this video, we are going to be talking about abortion in detail. We will be discussing about what exactly is abortion, how is this done, who can have an abortion, and what is it that is the implication of having abortion. Is there any long-term effect of having an abortion? This is what we'll be talking about today. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Without wasting time, let's get right into the video. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chidima. I'm a registered nurse. If you're seeing my face for the first time, I live and practice in the United Kingdom. Consider subscribing. Go down the description box. Consider subscribing. Join the family. Let's build the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. So let's get right into this video. First of all, let us define the term abortion. What is abortion? Abortion is intentional termination of a pregnancy before or within the period of 10 weeks to 13 weeks. That is the definition of abortion. That intent has to be there. It's intentional. Termination of a pregnancy has to be very much intentional before it can be tagged abortion. Now that you have known what the definition of abortion is, who can have an abortion? In certain regions of the world, based on your culture, based on your religion, based on the law protecting citizens when it comes to abortion, or based on what the law has to say in your country regarding abortion, then we can say who can have an abortion or who cannot. But for the medical context, anybody, regardless of your marital status, are you married or are you single, you can have an abortion. It baffles me when people think that marriage is a status where abortion cannot take place. A lot of married women are undergoing abortion because it's the pregnancy is threatening to their life and they can't afford to lose their life because of pregnancy. And then what next? They are given the option of terminating the pregnancy. And in that context, regardless of your status, even as a married woman, what you have just done is abortion. You can't call it miscarriage. That is one thing from an African perspective. A lot of people will say, oh, she had miscarriage because they are married. Because people have been programmed to believe that it's only the single people who can indulge in abortion, why the married people can only have miscarriage. But that is a blatant lie. Whether you're single, whether you're married, you can have an abortion. So that is that. Now that we know who can conduct or have an abortion done, let's talk about types of abortion. We have the medical abortion and we have the surgical abortion. And when we say medical abortion, we mean taking abortion pills, which can be mistoprol, mifepristone, but basically medical abortion involves taking abortion pills. And the surgical abortion involves going to the doctor, getting into the minor theater or the major theater as the hospital will design it, having to use tools to dilate the cervix and suction out the content of the womb. That is surgical abortion. Now, the method of abortion which you have undertaken has a long way to determine the outcome of your fertility life, which we'll be talking about very soon in this video. Now, when it comes to medical abortion, that is where the word unsafe abortion comes into play. A lot of people are using the pills to conduct abortion unsafely on their own without involving the gynecologist or their doctor or their midwife, Reason being that, which I know from an African perspective again, that the reason why these things are done that way is because nobody wants to be tagged or go with that social stigma, oh, she just had an abortion. Because definitely 60 to 70% of the population are not willing to listen to you as to reason why you terminated a pregnancy, because for them, it is morally wrong for you to conduct an abortion. So people just go and do unsafe abortion with pills. And in return, complications will arise. I am not saying that the surgical way of conducting abortion has no consequences. Every form of abortion, regardless of how you have done it, have its consequences, which can be short-term or long-term. Now, let's go into the consequences of abortion. Let's talk about the short-term consequences of abortion. The very first one is bleeding, because nobody can bleed forever. It's either it's arrested, the bleeding is arrested, or things go wrong and the person loses their life, which is the major consequence of having to take abortion pills without gynecological guidance or even reporting to your doctor, because you have a knowledge of, oh, you can get the medication and take it. So the first short-term effect of abortion is bleeding. And this bleeding has cost a lot of lives, because people don't want to be shamed. People don't want to come out. Young girls do not want to come out, confide in somebody, take themselves to the hospital, tell the doctors, what they have done, and probably seek help. The only time you find people in certain regions of the world come out to speak about abortion is when they can see it clearly that they are dying as a result of bleeding. And then you see them rush to the doctor, or even you see teenagers that have involved in unsafe abortion now coming up to tell their mothers, their fathers, that they have just had an abortion before they are rushed to the hospital for the whole content to be taken off. So bleeding is one of the effects that you can get from abortion. Now, the second consequences of abortion is infection. Regardless of whether it is medical or it is surgical, or it was even an unsafe abortion process. Infections. And when I mean infection, I mean things like pelvic inflammatory diseases. You can get things like chlamydia. And these infections, some of them are so funny that they don't even show up for you to know that, yes, you have gotten an infection on time. Some of them just keep climbing, spreading from the womb to the fallopian tubes and stuff like that. And then, until they have, chopped up some parts of the female reproductive system, before the real sign begins to show, and then you start seeking for help. These are the short-term effects of abortion, regardless of how it was done. Now, the long-term effects. Do we really have long-term effects? Of course, we do have long-term effects, and that one of them is infertility. Infertility, and that is why a lot of society frown at it, because abortion is not written on a woman's face. You can't see it if someone has conducted an abortion. You might know the virginity status of a woman, but you can never ever know whether the person has conducted an abortion by mere looking at their faces. And so a lot of people just get married and then start experiencing fertility issues. And then their mind flashes back to how much termination of pregnancies they have done in the past before getting married to their spouses. And then their mind comes to, oh, it might be a consequence of abortion. Of course, not every abortion can lead to infertility. Let me describe the way it leads to fertility, infertility issue, So what it does is, especially with the surgical type of abortion, you know that the doctors are going to put you to sleep, short sleep, And then they're going to use the D&C equipment. They're going to curate the cervix, dilate the cervix, and then go in with the equipment and suction out the contents. Now, in the course of extracting the contents of the womb, scar tissues can form in the womb. And when scar tissues form in the womb, even if you achieve pregnancy, it becomes very challenging and difficult for that pregnancy to implant properly and embed properly. And before you know it, infertility issue is here. You lose the pregnancy, or you can even go as far as having ectopic pregnancy that will warrant your both tubes being taken off during surgery. And that is it. So you see people battling with infertility issues as a result of abortions that were either done properly or not done properly. So a lot of people have committed unsafe abortion, and they had things like just like bleeding and infection, and that was the end. And they got married, they have their kids, they're happily married. While some other persons have involved in going to the doctor, getting the surgical abortion done, and at the end of the day, they still had issues. So abortion is one thing that is very dicey, that if it's better to prevent it, then prevent it. If you can, prevent it. Now, do we have another long-term effect of abortion? Yes. Another long-term effect is what we call incompetent cervix. You find that a woman is beginning to do what? Lose pregnancy from year to year, from year to year, from year to year. This pregnancy cannot stay because this woman continues to have an open cervix. The consequence of that is not really from the medical abortion. This one now boils down to the surgical abortion because of the widening of the cervix. Each time you go for this abortion procedure, the doctors will have to open up the cervix to give way for them to use what? Extract what is in the womb. And by the time you have it done 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, you see that the neck of the womb is beginning to lose its firmness. So by the time you now actually conceive and you want to carry the baby, after a few weeks, the whole thing goes. So, and some people have suffered in this condition for a very long time without knowing what exactly is going on, until maybe eventually they arrive to the doctor after a long time of suffering, and then the doctor starts giving them options like cervical circlage, so that the neck of the womb can be firmed up for them to carry the baby, and at a certain time, it will be opened up for delivery to take place. If you're still watching up to this time, thank you very much. Go down the box there, the description box, subscribe, and click on the notification bell beside it so that you'll be alerted anytime I upload a video. So what is my take on this? I will advise, if you're a young girl, sexually active, the best bet is to prevent yourself from undergoing abortion. And the only way you can do that is either you know your cycle properly and prevent having sex or avoid having sex during that period, or you talk to your spouse or your partner, whoever it is that you're indulged with, to practice safe sex. Use the condoms. Get into family planning if you cannot hold back. Because I think it's better off not to have it than to have it. But if eventually it happens and it's not something you want, then, what can you do? If you're a very young, active girl, don't be cajoled by men to believe that, oh, they cannot make use of condom, they want skin to skin, body to body, leg to leg, hand to hand. That is the method of deceit. Because when the chips are down, they're probably going to deceive you and say, I'm not interested, and you're stopped. 2 things are going to happen, probably. It's either you have the baby or you don't. This does not even only apply to the singles. Even the married women, some of them get pregnant, and their spouses at that time has even warned them that beforehand that they don't want another baby. And it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue based on your religion. It becomes an issue based on your culture. It becomes an issue based on the laws guarding the country. It becomes an issue based on your own self-morality. So I would advise, if you can prevent it, prevent it. But if it happens, it happens. this is where we'll be ending this video today. If you found value in this topic, make sure to subscribe because we'll be having more content, and we are rounding up on our women's health series in this month of October, which we've been doing from the 1st of October in loving memory of all that are suffering from breast cancer and those that have passed from breast cancer, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to others who are suffering from this trauma of abortion, so that they can get some relief at least from watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.